December 22nd, 2024, Hello Cabinistas. We have a leak in our water heater. It's because the tube froze up again. I understand the cause of it now. It's cold air that's infiltrating down the vent stack. But that's not going to fix anything. We've got to do another soldering job and hope that it is not irreparable. There you can see the leak spraying right out of where it split before, that tube. So we pull off the thermocouple to make sure that we don't damage that when we're doing our soldering. And we gather up all our materials. We've got a torch, and we've got solder and flux, and a Dremel tool right there with a wire brush on it. And that's real handy for cleaning up the tube. We've got to make sure that we have all the contamination off the tube, because solder won't stick to a contaminated surface. It likes a nice bare metal, bare solder surface. So there we go. We've cleaned it up. It's not pretty, but you can see the split. And we will use a hammer to tap the edges, very carefully tap the edges back close together, so we narrow that gap as much as possible. Give us the greatest possibility of success when we do our soldering job. Then we'll wire brush that off again, clean it up as best we can, and we will use our 6040 solder, which is probably a little bit older than me. It was my dad's. 40% lead, 60% silver. And here is the soldering paste, which is so old it doesn't have a barcode on it. And then we've got our torch and a lighter. So we're going to apply a nice liberal coat of flux on that tube. I don't know if it's 60% lead and 40% silver. It's one of the two. The new solder doesn't have any lead, and it doesn't work as well. We're going to light the torch. Very handy to have a propane torch around the homestead. So we heat that joint. We've got to be careful to do that, because we don't want to overheat it and loosen up another joint on the water heater. So you can see this is not pretty, but that's what it looks like. And then I'll come in and apply the solder to that and try to seal it up. And with any luck, it'll work. This is I'm showing the where the little tap goes to drain the water heater core. You can see how that fits in. A little silicone grease is really good around the O-ring there. You want to make sure everything's drained, that the core is drained, there's no water in it when you're doing your soldering job. And the next step will be to close the hot water taps, and of course to put the thermocouple back on there. And you can see that our solder job is not very elegant, but if it holds pressure, it's good. And we'll clean up as much as we can. We will test for leaks using a paper towel. We have to have absolutely no leaks. Anything we do with plumbing, no leaks. Okay, so then I will turn the water on. That's the gas valve, by the way, next to it. And we've got our tap back in there. We've got our shower tap closed. And the water heater has turned on, and it looks like it's holding. I don't see any leaks. It looks good, no spray. So we live to fight another day. And what I've done is I've relocated that vent stack. So basically just disconnected it, because the cold air is just going to infiltrate and just preferentially go right to that little outside loop on the core, and it will freeze it again. If it freezes it, it'll split that copper tube. So no leaks, It looks like we've got a successful repair. We lucked out, so now the cover will go back on, and we will make sure that that vent stack is disconnected